Welcome to Canard Boulevard. My name is Scott. Sometimes interesting things happen on my flights. This is one of them.
Traffic Cozy 797 Delta Lima departing 19.
I record every flight just in case something does happen, even if I have no intention of turning it into a video, and most of the time those turn out to be nothing and get deleted and nothing ever comes of it. But just in case something does happen, then I have it on video and it becomes a video like this one. It's a beautiful day and I'm going to go up and do some practice approaches because just south of here there's a bank of fog overlaying Wayne County Airport. So it looks like beautiful VFR here, which it is, but Wayne County, which is only about 20-25 miles south of here, is IFR right now. And if you look closely, you can see that fog on the horizon.
All right, airspeed's alive. Everything's in the green. 40. Birds. 50. There's 65, 70, and rotate. You're up. Pitch for VX.
This is an ideal day to go up and practice approaches. It's definitely not hard IFR, so I'm not going to be going anywhere near minimums, but it is definitely IFR. I'm going to be in the clouds, and I can log some approaches, which is great practice.
Everything's still in the green.
So as I climb up and get out of the Medina area, I'll call up Cleveland and get my IFR over to Wayne County and start doing my approaches. I'm just going to do a few RNAV approaches into 10 over at Wayne County, and that is not the point of this video, although I will show it. But what happens later after those approaches is what it makes this video more interesting.
Medina traffic, Cozy 797 Delta Lima departing straight out to the south.
And you can see the fog and clouds over on the horizon, and that's exactly where we're going to go. It is starting to break up by the time we get there, but it is definitely still IFR. And I go ahead and do 3 approaches. The first one here, I am hand flying all the way down to minimums and up and around. And then the second one, I'm doing a coupled approach. The autopilot is flying this one. And of course, it does a better job than I do. And then the last one, I'm going to go to a different entry point to the south, and I'm hand flying this one again. So down we go on the glide slope, and hey, I did pretty good approaches. So then it's getting quite hot. It's a very hot day, so I'm heading back up to Medina.
Medina traffic, Cozy 797 Delta Lima is 5 southeast of the field. We'll be joining on the 45 for the downwind 19er Medina. Medina traffic, Cozy 797 Delta Lima on the 45 for downwind 19er Medina.
So I'm coming in on the 45, and there is another Cessna in the pattern doing practice approaches, and this happens. I get that alert in my headset, you don't hear it, but now I know he's there, so I need to get out of his way.
Medina traffic, 44 kilos on the downwind for runway 19er Medina.
That's who I was being alerted to, so I'm going to get out of his way.
Cozy 797 Delta Lima is doing a 360 for traffic on downwind Medina.
And this is no big problem. I'm a little bit high anyway, so doing a 360 on my approach into the downwind will give me some time to lose some altitude. Then this guy calls up, and this is the most annoying kind of pilot.
Medina traffic, Bonanza number 6409 here, 15 southeast of the airfield, coming in for landing. We'll be joining.
Oh, for f***'s sake, shut up! Medina traffic, Cozy 797 Delta Lima, downwind 19er Medina.
Medina traffic is 19er in use at the moment.
Affirmative.
Okay, we'll be joining downwind for 19er, 6409 here. 44 kilo, base leg, 19er Medina.
So let me explain why I was so frustrated there. This frequency is used by many airports in the area, and tying it up for 30 seconds while you do a long description about where you are, what your plans are, is really discourteous. Especially, I'm trying to get my call in because, hey, I'm on downwind, I'm already on there, and I haven't even called it yet. And then to call and say, hey, is 19 the runway in use? Well, listen to the frequency for 15 seconds before you call. You would know 19 is in use because we're using 19 and calling 19 over and over and over again. So just this kind of stuff just drives me nuts. Learn to use the radio properly. Be concise and quick, and listen before you transmit.
Medina traffic, Cozy 797 Delta Lima, left base 19er Medina.
And I don't know if you noticed, but that was a Bonanza that was transmitting that was frustrating me. And don't forget that, because he's going to be featuring later at the end of this video, and not in a good way.
Medina traffic, Cozy 797 Delta Lima, final 19er, full stop, Medina.
Medina traffic, 44 kilo, going around.
500.
Medina traffic, November 6409, Sierra, 10 miles southeast of airfield. We'll be joining downwind for
Minimums.
19er.
Minimums.
It'll be full stop, Medina.
Ignore those minimums calls. Those were from when I was configured for doing approaches at Wayne County.
Undercarriage switches belts.
This is the toughest runway to land for me because it is the shortest runway, it's downhill, and it also has a displaced threshold. I'm unfortunately coming in here about 10 knots too fast. I do have both my rudders out to try to slow down, but I'm still touching down at about 80 knots, which is probably 10 knots too fast. So I'm down, but I have to get on the brakes, and as I'm getting closer to the end of the runway, I'm realizing, hey, you know what? My brakes are starting to fade away, and they're fading faster on the right side. I'm starting to realize that I might not have enough runway left, so I start to swerve to the left because I need to open up the radius of this turn with what little right brake I have left. And at this point, my right brake is as hard as I can push it down to the floor.
Come on, get around there. I got no right brake. Holy.
I'm going to shut the engine down here because it's still pushing me a bit.
Medina traffic, Cozy 797 Delta Lima, clear 19 Medina.
Then I'm going to use my left brake here to bring the airplane to a stop.
Medina traffic, 4
Holy
kilo, downwind from runway 19er.
So I did get it stopped, obviously, and the engine is shut down right now. I have a tiny bit of left brake and almost zero right brake remaining. The brakes are new. The linings are new. I thought they were bedded in fairly well, but apparently not, so they need to be bedded in better. At this point, I am not willing to start the engine and hope that I can get it turned on the runway, so I'm actually going to get out and push the airplane in the direction I want it to go, and then I'll start it back up and we'll taxi in. Now, the brakes are obviously cooling, so as I start taxiing, then they're going to come back and I'll be able to turn and steer and so on. So now our friend in the Bonanza makes an appearance on the radio.
Bonanza traffic, Bonanza number 6409 Sierra, 5 southeast of the airfield. We'll be joining downwind runway 19 Medina.
Now the airplane is pointed in the right direction, so I'll start up the engine and taxi back up. But the end of this video is not here yet.
Medina traffic, 44 kilo, turning base for runway 19er.
So let me explain what you're going to see. As I'm taxiing back up to the top of 19er, where I have to turn and cross in order to go to the fuel pumps, I'm going to see this gentleman in the Bonanza. He's going to try to do a tight pattern fast, and he overshoots his base to final turn. And to fix this, he ends up banking almost 50 degrees to try to get back on final. And I honestly thought he was going to stall and spin and end up crashing right on top of me. He did manage to get lined up with final, but he was way too high, way too fast. And even though it was a short runway, he still tries to force it onto the ground.
Medina traffic, November 6409 Sierra, downwind 19 Medina. Bonanza traffic, Bonanza November 6409 Sierra, base 19.
Now notice, only 8 seconds after he calls base, he now calls final. Something's not right.
6409 Sierra, base to final. 19, full stop.
I don't think you're going to make that. Holy shit. Holy shit. You're going to stall and spin in, buddy. Oh my god, he's coming in fast. Holy shit.
I didn't get it on camera, but I did watch him go down the runway and easily halfway down, if not more, still tried to shove it onto the runway while he was still at flying speed. It bounced, a huge bounce, back up into the air, and he finally went around.
Bad traffic, Cozy 797, don't clip the crossing threshold of 19.
64090, we're going around, staying in the traffic pattern.
So that was the end of a somewhat exciting flight. I definitely need to get my brakes bedded in properly. I'm not going to be landing on this runway again until I do that. I don't know if the pads maybe didn't glaze properly, but I'm going to pull them off and have a look because that was just not acceptable. I need to have better braking than that. In any case, if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, or anything else you'd like to say, please leave it in the comments section below. If you like this kind of video, click like, subscribe to the channel. Really helps me out when you do that.
Then traffic 64090 Sierra, crosswind, runway 19.
Thanks for watching.